Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to AnTalk, the weekly comic conversation. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. First off, let me just say, I love this movie. I thought it was great. And I'm not going to get into any spoilers, but if you don't want anything spoiled for you, which I recommend, then you really shouldn't even be watching this review. Now, I'm going to tell you why I love this movie, but before that, let's relate it to the first film real quick. Is it as good as the first Guardians of the Galaxy? Not quite. It's not quite as well structured of a movie. The first one is a complete coherent story about these characters and the villain and how they all want, and it all revolves around the orb or the Infinity Stone. And you can see why that first one really is a great movie. So is this one as good? Not in that way, but it's a damn good sequel. James Gunn took everything you love from the first movie and really ramped it up in this. Kind of like you would expect a sequel to do, but at the same time, it really doesn't feel like it's competing with that first movie at all. It's really its own thing, and this one doesn't have that one story arc that is the center of the movie, but it is really character-based. It's about who these characters are, their relationships with each other, and family. One of the bigger storylines is really about Peter and his relationship with his father, played by Kurt Russell. That's not a spoiler. It's in the trailers. You get some really good character arcs in this. You see where these characters are coming from, who they are. You have a great sister relationship between Gamora and Nebula. Father-son is a big theme here. You get into why Rocket is such a prick most of the time. You get some great and hilarious moments with Drax. And I would say he's the comedic relief, but there's comedy all throughout this movie. And it might get tired to some, but in Drax's case, I think it's very character fitting. He's someone that didn't understand humor in the first film, and now that he does, he's pretty much obsessed with it and usually takes it way too far. Baby Groot is great, as you expect. He's not overused, but he's used a lot, and I feel like they found a really good way to use him right. My favorite character in this movie is easily Yondu. He has some of the best moments. He has the best story arc. What they did with his character I thought was incredible. And for someone who was mostly a cool side character in the first film, to have so much added to his character and making how significant he is to Star-Lord was great, and I think he has the most interesting story arc in the movie. So like I said, this movie is very character-based, not story-based. I think it really benefits from that. It's the Guardians of the Galaxy, and you're just along for the ride. This movie's hilarious. They really ramped up the comedy, and that might bother some to a degree, especially since a lot of scenes and a lot of jokes are ongoing or scenes keep going, but it really works in a lot of ways and does a good job not feeling old or getting old. And I think that's got a lot to do with the characters. Like I already said, Drax is kind of obsessed with his sense of humor now that he has one. You get a lot of bickering between Rocket and Peter, especially in the beginning of the movie, and you would think that would get old, but don't you think when you bicker and argue with your own family members that it gets old? And I think it does a good job displaying the family aspect in that way, because they do. They act like a family. They get into it with each other. They argue, they bicker, but they come together and they really care about each other. And in the end, they all have each other's backs. And it's more about each other in this movie than it is an overarching MacGuffin or real serious plot point or anything like that. And this movie has some really cool and creative action scenes. Mixed in with the music, they're very memorable. And again, without getting too into spoilers, I'll say that Rocket and Yondu have some really good scenes, together and separate. I thought all the performances were great, as you would expect. I thought the newcomers, Mantis, she was cool. And I really liked Kurt Russell as Ego. I thought he was great and really added a lot to this movie. Even Nebula, who I was kind of annoyed with for about the first half of the movie, but once you get deeper into her thing with Gamora, I really bought into that as the movie went on. So we really do get quite a bit from each character, and I like all of it. And I really applaud James Gunn for being able to get such character depth in this movie, because as we've seen in the past in these ensemble films, it is hard to get a lot of character depth and backstory and development for multiple characters in a single film, and I thought that was done very well here, and I thought that's because it was the sole focus. I will say that I don't think the soundtrack is as good as the first movie. I've seen the movie twice at this point, and I've had the exact same impression both times I saw it. My feelings for it did not change a bit, except for one. And my biggest complaint was that I did not like the soundtrack as much as the first movie. And even though I think the soundtrack in the first movie is better, I've come to really like the soundtrack in this movie. And I thought the songs were very well used in the scenes. So honestly, the second time I saw it, I had even less to complain about. And like I said, I don't want to get into any spoilers, but the villain in this movie is easily one of the best in the MCU so far. I don't want to give away any twists or anything because the trailers do a good job not revealing who the main villain is. And I don't want to spoil that. I just think it's easily one of the best villains Marvel has done in any of their movies. Maybe not as good as Loki, but this villain is up there. So man, there is so much I like about this movie. Great characters, great action, great music. And I thought James Gunn did a great job making a sequel to a great movie. Like I said, he didn't try to outdo that first movie, but really wanted to give you what you loved from it, put it all together, give you some good character development, and bam, make a movie that you would love. And I thought that was executed very well. And like I said, it might not be as good as a film as that first movie, but I think as far as entertainment and even being favorable, this is right up there with it. I really love this movie. There's hardly anything for me to complain about. Maybe Drax the Destroyer could have been a little more destructive, but that's fine. It's very small nitpicking, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And if you have seen this movie, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. Did you like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 as much as I did? Or do you think it fell short as a sequel? I'd love to know. This is AnTalk, the weekly comic conversation. Thanks for watching and take care. See you later. Hey guys, did you like this video? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my videos, click right here on this icon to become a subscriber. And if you are a subscriber, don't forget to ring that bell so you can stay updated with all my videos. And if you want to see another video just like this one, click right here. And as always, thanks for watching AnTalk, the weekly comic conversation.